Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and stories shaping our world. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're going to explore a complex web of geopolitics, energy security, and electoral interference that's playing out in the South Caucasus region. At the center of this story is Armenia, a small country nestled between Europe and Asia, which is gearing up for a crucial election. But this isn't just a local story. It has far-reaching implications for global energy markets, regional stability, and the balance of power between major world powers like the United States, China, and Russia. According to recent reports, Russia has been engaging in an aggressive campaign of political interference and disinformation ahead of the Armenian election. The goal is to undermine the current government's efforts to move closer to the West and integrate into European and Asian commercial networks. This would not only deal a blow to American and Chinese interests, but also threaten to disrupt global energy supplies. Investigative reporting has revealed a network of Russian influence operations targeting Armenia, including diaspora mobilization campaigns, coordinated disinformation initiatives, and even covert financing networks. The evidence suggests that Moscow is pulling out all the stops to shape the outcome of the election and reassert its influence in the region. But what's at stake here goes beyond just Armenian politics. The South Caucasus is a critical energy corridor, with major pipelines transporting oil and gas from the Caspian Sea to European markets. If Russia succeeds in destabilizing the region, it could have significant consequences for global energy prices and security. As we explore this story further, we'll examine the complex interplay of interests between the United States, China, Europe, and other key players. We'll also look at the potential implications for regional stability and the global economy. So, let's dive in and take a closer look at the Armenian election and its far-reaching consequences. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. Today, we're diving into a complex and sensitive issue that's been making headlines in Ireland. A disturbing trend has emerged, where vacant local authority houses are being vandalized with anti-immigrant graffiti, sparking concerns about racism and xenophobia. According to reports, some local residents believe that immigrants are being allowed to skip waiting lists for council housing, fueling tensions and resentment towards minority communities. Councillor Gavin Pepper notes that this perception is widespread, but it's essential to separate fact from fiction. While there may be concerns about the allocation of housing, it's crucial to address these issues through constructive dialogue and evidence-based policies. Researchers like Dr. James Carr have been studying racism in the context of housing in Ireland, and his findings are alarming. Council staff often try to shield Muslim families from being housed in areas where they might face racist violence, but this can lead to segregation and reinforce harmful stereotypes. The narrative that foreign nationals are receiving preferential treatment from the state is a pervasive one, but it's largely unfounded. It's essential to recognize that the housing crisis in Ireland is a complex issue, driven by a combination of factors, including government policies, economic conditions, and social attitudes. Rather than scapegoating minority communities, we need to have a nuanced and informed discussion about the root causes of these problems and work towards finding solutions that benefit everyone. As we explore this story further, it's clear that the vandalism attacks on vacant houses are not just random acts of mischief, but are instead symptoms of a deeper societal issue. The use of anti-immigrant graffiti and the display of tricolor flags to create bordering and convey a message about who belongs in these areas is a troubling phenomenon. As we navigate this complex and sensitive topic, it's crucial to approach it with empathy, understanding, and a commitment to fairness and balance. We must listen to diverse perspectives and engage in respectful dialogue to foster greater understanding and find ways to address the underlying issues driving these tensions. Welcome back to Concrete Block. As we wrap up today's show, we're taking a closer look at the ongoing tensions between Iran, the United States, and Israel. The situation remains complex, with various factions vying for power and influence within Iran. Hardline groups are pushing for continued defiance against the US and its allies, while others are advocating for a more diplomatic approach. Recent reports indicate that Iranian negotiators are proceeding with nuclear talks despite opposition from hardline factions. However, these factions still pose a significant challenge to the stability of the region. The new supreme leader, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei, has expressed support for the negotiating team, but faces criticism and skepticism from some quarters. The international community is watching the situation closely, with concerns about the potential consequences of an escalation. The IMF and World Bank have warned that the conflict is straining global energy supplies, and traders in Singapore are finding ways to adapt to disruptions in the Middle East. As we strive to provide a balanced view of this developing story, it's essential to acknowledge the diverse perspectives and interests at play. We'll continue to monitor the situation and bring you updates as more information becomes available. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.